everybody, my name is Python and welcome back to another episode here of Minecraft Survival from Python's World. Oh snappers, today is gonna be a fun one, Mr. Froggy, because we're going exploring. But we're not just gonna be exploring, we are also going to be making a start on mapping our world. That is right, we're finally gonna start the grind towards having our first ever map wall on this world. You can see over here that we have ourselves the beginnings, or at least the location sorted out for where the map wall room is going to go. So while I'm getting geared up for our massive exploration trip, I just want to take this opportunity to say a massive thank you for all of your incredible support in the last episode, folks. I really do appreciate it. So we've got our maps, we've got paper, so we can zoom out the maps via the cartography table here. We've got ourselves a bunch of sticks, and now what we're going to do is demonstrate another big reason as to why I created these here sheep shearing towers. We can make ourselves every single color of banner that is available in this game. I'll be honest, I don't imagine we're going to wind up using every color of banner when we're trying to mark down a bunch of waypoints on our maps. It's just nice to have that option, isn't it? Do you know what? While we're over here at the sheep shearing towers, it might actually be a good idea for us to finally refill the dispensers with another pair of shears each. So we roll up into one of these towers here, we put one pair of shears up there, and then somehow we get up here. I think there's a ledge to be had. Yeah, there we are. And then we place the other pair of shears in there. And then we just do that for all four of the towers. And there we are. All 16 sheep shearing farms have been restocked with shears. And the rest of the iron we have here will be used for anvils. Now, when it comes to me mapping out my world and actually going to the effort of placing down waypoints, I normally categorize the waypoints and assign a colored banner to each of them. Usually what I do is have maybe one color of banner for different biomes that I might want to mark down, maybe another color dedicated to all of the various structures that generate in the world. Maybe we even go more in depth than that. We get lots and lots of villages generating worlds. Maybe villages can be a different color than other structures. Now I know, it probably sounds like I'm waffling on quite a lot here, but I really do feel like it pays to be super organized when it comes to going exploring, and especially if you're going to the efforts of mapping your world. So here's what I'm thinking. Lime banners can be used to mark down villages because lime is the same color as emeralds, right? Or roughly the same. Red can be used to mark out other structures, so things like pillager outposts and desert temples. I'm gonna say yellow to mark out various biomes that we might want to revisit in future. And then finally, we're gonna reserve light blue colored banners for areas of the world that are just amazing. You go to certain areas in your world and you just sort of sit there and it's like, oh my goodness me, this is just a fantastic area. I could definitely see myself building here in future. Here we are, my friends, a full-on cartography shulker box of epicness. Yeah, I think this will do the job quite nicely. With that done and dusted, I feel like it's finally time to go exploring. Oh man, am I excited for this. I think what we're going to do is we are going to start off at 0, and explore from there. To give you guys a little bit of numbers and a little bit of insight on how the maps work, when you fully zoom out a map, it covers a 2048 by 2048 area. Now, as I've mentioned, every single biome in this world is within 3,000 blocks of 0. Now, obviously, if all of the fully zoomed out maps are 2,000 blocks, then that means from 0, we're going to wind up exploring up to 4,000 blocks away from 0. Now, I could just go for a slightly more zoomed in map per map, you know, the ones that cover a 1,000 by 1,000 block area, but in order to cover 3,000 blocks away from 0, 0. Technically, that's a diameter of 6,000 blocks. So 6,000 by 6,000. And then if you do the maths on that, that winds up being 36 maps to fill in. Whereas if I was to go for the fully zoomed out map, which is 2,000 by 2,000 area covered, then to cover an 8,000 by 8,000 block area, that would actually only wind up being 16 maps. Because maps on item frames do indeed count as entities, going for only 16 entities rather than 36 would definitely do the job in terms of safeguarding this world from huge amounts of lag, right? So yeah, basically what I'm saying is we're going to go for the fully zoomed out 2,000 by 2,000 block maps. And we're just going to explore until we fill in an 8,000 by 8,000 block area. Now that is going to take a very, very, very long time. And I absolutely do not intend on getting that all done in today's episode. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring back Python's World streams. It's been a while since we've done one. I think the last one we did, we finished off shaping Industrial Island, right? Since then, there's been nothing but us going ahead and mapping out our world for a huge map wall. I think that would make for a good stream project. So yeah, we'll certainly get it started here in the episode, but in terms of finishing it, I think we do that in the form of streams. So in terms of where 0, 0 exactly is on our world, it's right here on this torch. Wow, it's kind of like in the middle of a dip, isn't it? Ah, well, kind of cool, though. I still love the fact that nearby 0, 0, we've got ourselves like a bit of a crater lake with an island in the middle. And I'm sure I said it at the very beginning of the series. This area really does scream build here. So yeah, eventually, that's probably exactly what's going to wind up happening. But anyways, today we're here to map our world. So let's grab ourselves out a map and our cartography table, and let's begin on the mapping. So filling in the map, here it is. Now for any of you guys who don't know, and I only just learned this myself, when it comes to the fully zoomed in maps, you know, before you apply paper to it, the center of the map when you head towards 0, 0 will indeed be 0, 0. It's only when you zoom out the maps that 0, 0 almost always winds up being in the corner of a map instead. But yeah, when it's fully zoomed in like this, we are pretty much at 0, 0. And it is slap bang in the center, isn't it? Let's go ahead and zoom this out a whole bunch of times. I think 4 times is the maximum amount of times you can zoom out a map. And here we are. As I was mentioning, when you zoom out a map, 0, 0 winds up being in a corner. All right, a little bit more numbers time with Python. If we head east 2,000 blocks, we will wind up at X 2,000. And then if we head south 2,000 blocks, we would wind up at Z 2,000. So in terms of where exactly this map goes on a map wall, this would be the third one along from the left, and then the third one down. And to make it a little bit easier to keep track of, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename these maps according to a sort of grid pattern. So in this case, this one would be C, A, B, C being the third letter, and then 3 being the third map down. So yeah, that's looking pretty good. So if we were to take this 4x4 inventory space area as our map wall, this is where C3 would go. So let's have ourselves a bit of a snooze before our big explore. And here we are with a brand new Minecraft morning. Let's have our map in our offhand, so it's always getting filled up. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's do this thing. I normally like to start by filling in the edges of the map and then sort of, you know, flying ever inwards to fill in the map. It just makes things a little bit easier. All right, so it looks like we might already have something to mark down, and that is this here Mega Tiger biome, which is like my second favorite all-time biome in this whole game. But since we're going for the edges of the world, we'll come back to that and then fill it in. Wow, this is a pretty diverse area of the world, isn't it? Forest, tiger, birch, dark oak, and then over here, what was I saying about trying to find another swamp biome in the last episode? Here one is. Well, that took no time at all. Anyway, here we are coming across our first corner. Wait, is that a mangrove swamp? It is. Oh, man, it's just off this first map, though. Ah, okay, I'm looking forward to exploring that very much so. But anyways, let's turn a corner and let's start heading south. I mean, I guess there is the opportunity not only to find a swamp hut around here, but also, finally, to find these bad boys. We couldn't find any at all in the last episode, could we? But here we are. Good old blue orchids. Oh, no way. There's a big old flower forest here as well. Dude, I love flower forests. Flower forests are my favorite biome of all time in this game. So I think this deserves a waypoint. So what was it? Green for villages, red for structures. I think it was yellow for biomes, right? So, place this bad boy down, do a little bit of a rename, flower forest. Or wait, no, we probably want to try and keep the names of these banners as short as possible, because then it won't make the text too difficult to read. So, we place this bad boy down, we do a little bit of a right click, and there we are, F forest for flower forest. Sweet! Alrighty, even more swamp. Oh, hello. There's a witch hut just off of the map here. That's pretty awesome. Something to mark down in future. Do we want to mark down this swamp biome? I mean, I kind of do, actually, because they don't really have, like, a unique color on the map here, do they? Although then again, if we're finding witch huts, which, by the way, there's another one right here, which is within our map, I'm sure that we can figure out that if there's a witch hut marked down on the map, there's probably a swamp biome as well, right? So, this one would be a red banner and witch hut. I mean, I think that's a short enough name to be getting on with, so let's just mine this anvil up. Let's get this bad boy placed down. There we are, witch hut. Oh, snappers. All right, looks like we're coming across a village here and another desert and mesa biome. Completely separate from the one that we've got nearby our base. Dude, man, this world just keeps on giving, doesn't it? Now, I should mention, if you are interested in the world seed, it is always listed in the description down below if you want to try this one for yourselves. And as I keep mentioning, all biomes are within 3,000 blocks of 00. So you're not going to have to travel massively far to find whatever it is you might be looking for. So this one's a savanna village, so let's put S village. Although, with that said, snow village. I guess I could put Tundra Village, T Village instead, but then there's also Tiger Villages, isn't there? Oh man, what am I going to do? Village? Ice Village? That might be a better way to go, right? Anyway, here we are, Savannah Village. Let's go and put this where the little centerpiece bell thing is. There we are. I don't think I need to mark down desert biomes and mesa biomes because they do show up as different colors on the map, so we should be able to easily tell what's going on. Anyway, here we are with yet another village. And would you look at this? We've got ourselves another coral reef biome here as well. And you know what? I really do think this is worth marking down. So, yeah, looks like we've got two banners to do here. D village for desert village. And then we could probably just get away with just having the word reef. I'm sure we can tell what that means, right? Wow, it looks like the villagers are having like a village meeting or something. Right, let me just sort of roll in here and mark this place down so I can come back and rob you guys. I mean, no. Wait a minute. Can you even place banners underwater? Is that something you can do? I have no idea. Ah. Huh, okay, cool. Whoa, look at the state of that cliff over there. That is quite something. That is screaming to me that there might be an ancient city underneath. Anyone else? Unfortunately, though, it is off the map, so we'll leave it for now. But it's nice to know that we've got some pretty awesome things to explore in future, right? What on earth is this? The smallest mangrove biome I think I've ever seen? I mean, look at it. This is it. There's a forest biome there, there's a jungle biome over there, and then the smallest mangrove biome I think I've ever seen. There's like literally like 3 mangrove trees here. Dude, what the heck? This is amazing, though. So amazing that I think it's worth a banner. So we've had the smallest mangrove swamp I think I've ever seen, and on the complete flip side, this is quite possibly the largest sparse jungle biome I think I've ever seen. I love sparse jungles. I think this takes third place in terms of my favorite biomes in this game. They're just like a normal jungle, but with far less annoying foliage to get out of the way so you can build on the nice, lush green grass, right? This is so big and so impressive that I think this is worth a waypoint. Am I going overboard with the waypoints? I don't think so. I think it's nice to have all of this stuff marked down on a map. So if we ever get stuck for future ideas, or I want to start getting ideas for potentially future seasons, then yeah, we know where to look for awesome stuff. Alrighty folks, we're just about finished with the sort of ring road around this map here. Now the time has come to fill in the rest of the map, my friends, and I think we're just going to do a systematic sort of back and forth kind of dealio. So here we are with the mega tiger biome. Let's get this bad boy marked down. Got another witch hut to mark down here. I think possibly the only downside of me doing this whole cartography thing is it kind of restricts my ability to prune explored but not built-in chunks like I usually do after each major update. Only if I continue to do that, the banners will just be removed, and therefore there won't wind up being waypoints on the map. So, yeah, I'm not entirely sure how to go about world downloads. Perhaps I could provide a full-on world download where it's got all of the explored chunks and all of the waypoints correctly on the map. But then for any of you folks who don't have too great an internet connection, perhaps I could also provide what I like to call a light download, which would indeed have pruned chunks to minimize the world size for you folks. Let me know what you think about that idea in the comments area down below. Only, you know, we are fast approaching our first ever world tour and map download episode, episode 50. So, yeah, if you have any ideas or thoughts on the matter, by all means, let me know. A thought occurs. Why don't I just call the Savannah Village and Acacia Village instead? Then I could just put a village. Do you think a dark oak biome would be worth placing down on the map? I mean, maybe, right? I mean, similar to the Mega Tiger, you can't really sort of immediately see on a map that you've got a Mega Tiger. Although, with that said, you can see little brown patches. Maybe that's not a good example. Maybe Flower Forest, that's a better example, because it just looks, you know, green, right? And same with the Dark Oak Forest here. It's just green, right? I was wondering when we might come across our first ocean monument, considering the size of the ocean we have going on here. Alright, well, let's just pop down the bottom here, do a little bit of this. This was going to be a red banner. O monument. Or, wait, can I not just get away with monument? What other monuments are there? I think there is just the ocean monument, isn't it? Go on, then. What have we got in here? Thorns 3. Wow, that's actually not too bad, but I'd prefer the obsidian and the iron nuggies. Can I do this without getting zapped? And also mining fatigued? I think we have. Ah, rats, I've just realised I assigned a red banner to the A village, but actually it should have been a green one. Alrighty, folks, finally we are at the point where we're finishing our first map. And as you can see, there's a lot of waypoints we've already placed down. 2 witch huts, a monument, several villages, and quite a few biome markers as well. In fact, a quick count reveals that, there's 12 markers on our first map alone. The only type of marker that hasn't been placed down is one of these blue ones that represents an area that has just made me go, wow. You know, a proper mouth wide open, oh my gosh kind of area. Unfortunately, there wasn't really any of that on this first map here, but we've got 15 other maps to fill in. So there we go. Our first out of 16 maps completely filled in. Oh my goodness, my elytra. Okay. Wow. I'm very glad that I looked at that just then. That could have been a pretty embarrassing death. Annoyingly, my base is about 1,500 blocks away, so let me just do F3 and H, bring this up. Ooh, 12 durability. Could that be enough to get me back to base? If I fly nice and quick all the way there, I might have enough. Yep, 11. 4 durability. Oh, I think that is 554s coming into view. 4, 3. Oh my goodness me, we might have enough. We might be able to do this. 1. Oh, there we are. And that is the end of it. Thank goodness I wasn't flying super high just then. Wow, that, I mean, I don't think we could have had an adventure come more down to the wire if we tried. That's amazing. So we know now that filling in one of these maps pretty much takes up the entirety of my elytra durability, which leads me to believe that maybe what might be a good idea is if I was to have a herd of cleric villagers selling XP bottles so I could repair my elytra on the go, right? But anyways, for now, I think we're looking good. We've got our first out of the 16 maps for our map wall completely filled in, complete with waypoints. And you know what? I'm feeling pretty good about it. I feel like we've gone properly above and beyond with our cartography skills today, my friends. Alrighty, so for now, I've dedicated one of the double chests in this house that we made some time ago to our cartography journey. C3 map is now in there. Gonna have ourselves a quick little snooze, and then we're gonna get on with the comment of the day. After placing the blue orchid on display in our little flower pot haven of epicness. So now all we're looking for is the torch flower and the wither rose. So then, today's comment of the day comes from Mr. Noodle Strudel, who says, I think making this room a jukebox room would be a really awesome idea. All you'd have to do is place a jukebox in the center of the room and a chest for all of the music discs. I love that idea, Noodle. Very, very much so, in fact. So, look at all this. This is our current collection of CDs, and oh my goodness me, are there a lot. But we still have a lot to get even still. So maybe at some point in the future, we can make ourselves like a record disc creeper skeleton farm. There's going to be some other ones that we need to obtain via other means. Like, I think there's one that you can make from ancient city items or something or other. There's lava chicken to get. There's loads of others to get, really. So let's grab out a little bit of deep slate diamonds so we can get some diamond items out of it. Boop. What have we got here? Ooh, 3. Very nice. Fortune Bringer. Staying true to its name right there, my friends. But yeah, here we are. We need 8 bits of wood and then a little bit of this. And there we are. We got ourselves our first ever jukebox of the series. The room that they're referring to, of course, is this one here. We made it in the last episode, but we never assigned a use to it. We have one now. We've got red wool. I'm going to place the chest upon that. We're going to get the jukebox placed in here, and we are going to slap all of our discs in here. So while we wrap up today's episode, I'm thinking a little bit of pig step. I hope it doesn't get copyright striked, but if it does, whatever. Boom. Oh man, it's been such a long time since we've listened to a record discing game. But here we are. This is now a disco room, folks. Ah! Sticky keys! Darn it! Let's try that again. Yeah! No sticky keys now. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, my friends. If you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to drop a like. I'd very much appreciate it. If you don't want to miss out on my future content, hit that subscribe button with those bell notifications turned on. But for now, my friends, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you folks in the next one.